So for me, the idea of owning your career really means just being thoughtful about what are the skills and the relationships that you want to build over time. And to me, frankly, the career is kind of the outcome of what comes from that. I personally have never been all that deliberate about what path I want my career to take. I've been much more deliberate about what are the skills that I want to build, who are the people I want to meet, what are the experiences I want to have. And generally, the career has been kind of what comes out of that. I think what that means is, on the skills front in particular, what's the training I need to go take, who are the people I want to surround myself that have skills similar to what I want to build, and then just frankly being intentional about making both of those things happen, right? Take the training, go meet the people, and start investing in yourself through those different investments. I don't know, to me at least, there's a certain amount of serendipity that goes into to where your career goes. If I think about my own experiences, I started, well, frankly, if you go way back, right? My dad's bike got stolen back when I was a teenager, and that essentially resulted in me having to rebuild a bike for him. And through that whole process, I ended up meeting the owner of the local bike shop, which then the guy got to know me well in the process of 10 or 15 visits I made to buy various bike parts, and ultimately got a job working for that bike shop. So essentially, if my dad's bike hadn't been stolen, I never would have gotten a job at a bike shop. The bike shop gave me enough money to start taking flying lessons. Flying lessons then led to me becoming a flight instructor, which led then to that next career of teaching people to fly. And of course, none of that was planned either. That then led to getting a job at a private equity company eventually as their pilot, which led into business stuff, which then caused me to consider going to business school. I'd never thought about that. I made the choice along the lines of being thoughtful and deliberate about what skills I wanted to build. I went to business school, which exposed me to something called consulting. I ended up going to McKinsey and did okay there, and spent about 14 years doing that. And then Google called, and none of that was planned. But there was definitely a common theme around, first of all, being open to serendipity, and so not trying to be overly prescriptive in which path I chose. And also, I was pretty focused on what skills I was trying to build, was I learning along the way, and was I interested in both the topics as well as the people I was meeting. And that, beyond that, frankly, the career is what's come of that as opposed to something that's overly intentional. Hard work, I think about attitude and relationships. On the hard work side, there's just no substitute for doing a good job, and I'm consistently across all the different things I've been involved in, whether it's work or whether it's things outside of work, have thought if you're going to do something, do it really well. So frankly, just no substitute for putting in the effort to do a great job on whatever you're doing. Second is the attitude, and people just like to be around people they like, and you can take the exact same situation and put two people in that situation, and some types of people always find what's wrong with it, and others look for what's positive, and I am definitely in the latter category. And to me, it serves me well, because you can take any situation, including back when I was a teenager and my dad's bike was stolen. That was a bad situation. I looked for what's the positive in that and turned that into rebuilding my dad's bike and ultimately getting a job doing a pretty cool thing in high school. And that was all down to attitude. And I've had dozens of those scenarios where you could easily take a situation and see it as a negative. And if you just invest a bit of energy to find what's good about it, the way you approach the situation, the way you come across to the people you're working with, is just much more positive, frankly, and people enjoy that. And so when it comes down to choosing people they want to work with, they'll typically choose someone with a good attitude. And then last, relationships. Nobody does anything well in this world on their own. It all comes down to the people you work with and the people you get to know. And so I've just been very thoughtful and deliberate about who are the people I want to meet, what are the relationships I want to cultivate. I don't take any relationship for granted. I work hard not to be superficial, so I don't build relationships just to network. but really more about recognizing the reality that I've got something to contribute to that relationship and them right back. And so virtually every opportunity I've come across has been because of having built a relationship with somebody, and then they think of me about around that opportunity, and the opportunity emerges. So beyond all that, frankly, everything else is kind of extra. But hard work, focusing on maintaining a positive attitude whatever you're diving into, and then building these relationships, great stuff comes out of that recipe.